Good afternoon and welcome back. This is US Home Talk. We are your go-to real estate podcast show. Whether you're buying, selling, investing in real estate, you're wanting to learn more about real estate, or just to figure out how to take care of your asset and keep it in great condition, we got your guys' back. We're your host, Marcus Walgrave, with the South Dakota Home Team, powered by Hague Realtors, Jason Walgrave with the Walgrave Real Estate Group at RE/MAX Advantage Plus, and Mike Overson with Luminate Bank. Anything and everything real estate. Don't forget to send us your messages. Shoot us a text. Give us a call on our real estate hotline. That's 612-234-7585. You can also find us on our website. Probably the easiest way to get a hold of us is our website. That's ushometalk.com. Again, ushometalk.com. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Doing great. It's a beautiful day.
We are finishing up part 2 of our show that we had last week. It was a show that was talking about who was buying and selling in real estate in 2025. The National Association of Realtors comes out with their end-of-year report, has some incredible information on what kind of transpired throughout the year in real estate. And, so we're going to go ahead and jump into that. If you want to catch that first show, just check out our website, ushometalk.com. So I'll just real quick recap what we talked about last week, and just a 10 points is a 10 points to highlights to this very in-depth report that NER put out. The first one was first-time home buyers sink to an all-time low. Some pretty incredible stats with that. Cost of waiting 10 years, on a typical starter home being $150,000 plus. Record high all cash home buyers. We definitely saw that in our market. Jason and Mike up in the Twin Cities area in Minnesota. I'm in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Number 3 was higher down payments. That was kind of interesting, right, gentlemen? Number 4, real estate agents remain essential. Obviously, that was number 4. Probably should have been number 1. No big deal. Number 5, for sale by owners hit record low as well. So that was kind of what we talked about last week. We're going to finish it up. We're going to do 6 through 10 and see what we kind of experienced ourselves and add a little 2 cents into this incredible report that NER puts out at the end of the year. Number 6, repeat buyers are flexing their financial power. Now, I like that one. And pretty much when it kind of goes into the details of it, was the median down payment among this group climbed to 23%. Nearly 1 in 3 repeat buyers are paying all cash, sidestepping financing altogether. Years of equity growth have supercharged their buying power. The typical seller has owned their home for a record 11 years.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And so obviously the longer you own a home, the more equity that you are going to build up through those years. The early 2020s were some really good years to build up some equity. So we saw some substantial growth in the median sale price throughout those couple years. And in just the last 5 years alone, homeowners have gained an average of $140,000 plus in wealth, according to NER research. So number 6, repeat buyers flexing their financial power.
It's probably because it's cheaper to live now, right? So they're able to save more money because it's cheaper to live.
Yep, that's it.
Totally cheap.
A lot cheaper.
Or they just got better at saving the money, right?
Yep.
Or maybe their incomes went up that much. I mean, do you make 140 grand more now?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Right? The flex is how did they get to the point where they could do this flex?
Because they bought a long
bought
time
a
ago.
house.
Yes.
They bought a home 11 years ago. That's
right.
Yep.
That was the first step. That was the only reason why they had this extra 140 grand, whatever it is, right? That to put down. That's the only reason. So what's the point here?
That was just in the last 5 years alone.
Just last 5 years.
According to the NER research. Yeah, $140,900.
That's crazy.
Incredible.
We talk about it all the time. When's the best time to buy? Yesterday.
Now. Yesterday.
Now. Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Not tomorrow.
A year ago.
Yeah,
Let's go.
11 years ago.
11 years ago. There's no better time than now. Who said that?
You, Mike Overson, Mortgage Mike?
I mean, I just said it, but I think someone more famous than me said it at one point.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Who was it? I want
We're
to
gonna
know.
go to number.
Evan knows.
Number
Evan will look it up.
7. Evan, yeah, Evan, is our insurance guru. Anytime we got any insurance questions for him, we always reach out to Evan. And you also make sure that U.S. Home Talk is an awesome podcast. He's an exceptional producer for us, so thank you for that, Evan, for your knowledge and for keeping us on track. So, number 7, fewer households with children are buying homes. The share of buyers with children under 18 has dropped to a historic low. Just 24% of recent buyers compared to 58% in 1985. Among those households, 11% had one child, 9 had 2, and only 5 had 3 or more.
Dang.
So that's definitely interesting. As households with children decline, the makeup of home buyers is shifting. Married couples also fell to 61% of all buyers as singles gained ground. Single women comprised 20% of buyers, and single men accounted for 9%.
Single women accounted for 20% of all buyers. Is that what you said?
Yes, single women comprised 21% of buyers.
Wow.
And single men accounted for 9%.
Nice job stepping it up, ladies.
Yeah, right? Getting it.
That's because they don't ice fish.
Yeah.
Guys are spending their money on ice castles. Women are actually making smart financial decisions and buying a house.
I've definitely read a number of articles about the increase in single women buying real estate, and it has gone up a dramatic amount. I think it's wonderful. The what was the first one about home buyers with kids? What was that? What was that number? That first stat?
Well, the share of buyers with children under 18 has dropped to a historic low.
Yeah.
Just 24% of recent buyers compared to 58% in 1985.
That's crazy. That's almost a third. You know what I mean? That's a wild number. So I don't know why that is. I mean, I suppose just families are smaller.
Marriage.
Smaller families, people waiting longer to get married and have kids and yada, yada. So fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I think if the average marriage age is getting pushed out into, the 30s, I'm not certain what that number is, but if you're right out of trade school or college and you don't have a lot of debt and you're in a position to buy a home, you're going to do that. And
call.
so, they're not the idea of this, married, buy a home, have kids, that timeline has obviously shifted to something different. So, number 8, home buyers and sellers are getting older. The median age of first-time home buyers is 40, a record high, while repeat buyers rose to a median age of 62.
Whoa.
Sellers are following the same trend. The typical age of home sellers this year is 64, the highest ever recorded.
Wow. 64. I mean, that's what is that retirement age? 64? Is that
close?
Is that what it is?
IRS.
I think retirement age is just of that, right?
That's wild.
Yep.
64.
NAR,
67.
National Association of Realtors, reported earlier this year that showed baby boomers, those between the ages of 60 and 78, are the largest share of both home buyers and sellers.
Wow.
So if you have one demographical group in that 60 to 78, that's just dominating the market, buying and selling. I think some people think, okay, well, they're maybe selling, but if they are selling, they're downsizing or something of that nature. So they're not just selling and then moving into a rental. They're likely downsizing or finding a home that is where they can age in. So there's a lot of those needs for that multiple transaction for that baby boomer.
Legal minute.
Let's do the legal minute.
This is Jeff O'Brien, attorney with Hush Blackwell with the U.S. Home Talk LegalNet. The automatic stay is a legal mechanism in a bankruptcy case that freezes collection and legal actions against a debtor. The stay provides breathing room and locks in the status quo while debt issues are settled. It goes into effect immediately and automatically when a bankruptcy petition is filed. The stay prohibits most creditors from commencing or continuing any judicial, administrative, or other proceeding against the debtor that actually was commenced or could have been commenced prior to the bankruptcy filing. For instance, the automatic stay precludes foreclosure actions against the debtor or any property of the estate and any recording on or against the title of real property within the estate. The stay continues until the earliest of the time when the case is closed or dismissed or the time a discharge is granted or denied. Relief from the stay is allowed when a creditor can show a compelling reason for lifting the stay. Reasons include lack of adequate protection, including not enough collateral, no equity, no insurance, or the property value has fallen. A court can lift the stay to allow unrelated lawsuits to move ahead, such as cases against a debtor where insurance will make any payment required. When there is no value or equity in the debtor's property and it isn't needed for a reorganization, others with interest in the property will usually be given relief from the automatic stay. This is Jeff O'Brien, attorney with Hush Blackwell with the U.S. Home Talk LegalNet.
Thank you, Jeff, for the legal minute there.
Nice work.
U.S. Home Talk, that is our show. We talk about real estate. If you guys are catching today's show, it's a part 2 about who was buying and selling real estate in 2025. If you want to catch that first part, just visit our website, ushometalk.com, and you'll be able to find all our past shows and today's shows, and you'll also be able to get our contact information. So if you want to reach out to us, if you have some real estate questions about what's going on in the Twin Cities area or the Sioux Falls area or really anywhere, because we have an incredible network of resources throughout the nation, and we're going to be able to help you find the real estate professional in your market. So number 9, buying for the long haul. I thought this is a really interesting too highlight. Home buyers are planning to stay longer than ever. The median expected tenure in a purchased home is now 15 years, with 28% of buyers declaring that it will be their forever home and they will never intend to move. This is a significant increase since 2000 to 2008. Where sellers typically stayed in their homes for just 6 years.
Yeah.
So, we're well over doubling that. And the median time over the last year a homeowner stayed in their home before selling was 11. We just kind of talked about that, and that was a record high. So both first-time and repeat buyers share their long-term outlook, providing the starter home, quote-unquote starter home mentality for new buyers has faded. So first-time home buyers, and again, we talked about that in our previous show about the millennials. I mean, if you're a first-time home buyer and you're 40, the idea of like, hey, this is going to be a starter home. I can see somebody who's in their 40s saying, no, I'm done renting, and now I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to live in it for the next 20 plus years.
Yep.
Well, I wonder if that part of that is also contributed to being able to work remotely and how that's becoming more popular, right? People relocating less for jobs. I mean, certainly certain jobs,
sure.
you have to physically be there. But if you're in a certain industry, you might not have to move. You might be with one employer that's based out of Minneapolis, and then you get another employer based out of Atlanta. Guess what? You don't have to move.
Yep.
Because you can work remotely. So you're like, sweet, I like living where I'm at.
Yep.
And now I can work remotely versus, 10 years ago, you were probably making that move to Atlanta.
Yep.
So that's got to be part of it, I'd imagine.
Jumping up to the stat I mentioned, 28% of buyers declaring that it will be their forever home, and which is awesome. I mean, when you are getting into real estate, that really should be your mindset. It's a long-term play. This idea that you can buy a home and then call us up in a year or two and say, hey, I think I'm going to sell it. How much money am I going to make? The answer is going to be none. You're not going to make any money.
Might break even.
But yeah. So, but even with that mentality, real estate is so driven by major life events, right? marriage, a relocation of employment, or better job opportunity. In some cases, death and divorce. So those things that nobody has plans for those. They're not like in 10 years I'm going to plan on this happening. They just kind of happen, and then they end up encouraging people to make a real estate transaction. So I understand why they're wanting to say it's a forever home. But I think it's still super important to make sure you know what you're buying, just in case in the event that dream job is presented to you in 5-6 years. You're going to be able to move that property and hopefully, like you said, Jason, break even.
Yep.
Number 10, this is our last one on today's show. New home purchases tick up. So more buyers are tempted to buy new, with the share of new home purchases rising slightly to 16%, matching a level that hasn't been seen since 2006. Meanwhile, existing home purchases decreased slightly to 84%. Builders over the last year have been ramping up incentives. Definitely have seen that here in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota market. Buyers are drawn to new construction. They like the idea of that, hey, nobody's been on this carpet. No food is spoiled in this refrigerator, and nobody's burnt a pizza in the range oven. And so, those are definitely some incentives for that new construction desire for buyers.
Yeah, I think too with the stats about people staying in their home longer. I think if a buyer is planning to stay in that home longer, they're more likely to spend a little bit more on new construction than if they're not going to be there if they're only going to be there for a few years. Then they're like, well, because we compare it, and we've talked about this many times, existing compared to new. If you look at a 10-year window of living there, the cost is going to be about the same, even though you're paying more for the new construction, but you're not going to have almost no repairs or maintenance for 10 years, where that existing one you are. So yeah, that makes sense. I mean, and I think we need more new construction. I think we need more development. I think we need more homes being built. And so it's good to hear.
Yeah, and the buyers who are obviously choosing the existing homes, it's their they feel like it's a better overall value. I mean, if you're kind of a price per square foot kind of guy or girl, that's those numbers jump out at you, right? You look at new construction, you're like, what? How much is the price per square foot? And so, but then there's also the existing homes tend to have some, greater charm, or they're in an established neighborhood, and they kind of bring those value to the table too. So those are the highlights from NAR's 2025 profile of home buyers, sellers. If you guys want to get more information, you can always reach out to us on our website, US Home Talk. As our show comes to an end here today, we want to thank you all for taking your time watching our show, for your support of US Home Talk. And as always, you can find today's show or our past shows at ushometalk.com or wherever you guys find your podcasts. This is Marcus Walgrave, Jason Walgrave, Mike Overson. Have yourself a blessed week.